What's up, everybody? I wasn't planning on doing a video today, but I come with you with a very special one today. And look right here. Look what's returned for the first time in over a month and a half. Because I just watched it this morning, and I laughed so much more than I did seeing it the first time. Great White Buffalo. No, I don't own a BMW. You better not throw those keys at me, punk. Anyway, the reason I'm doing this video today is because I'm not gonna have any time to do any videos during this week up until Thor releases, because I have advanced placement testing at high school this week, so I'm gonna be very busy for the next few days. But because the summer movie season's approaching, it's time to do a recap, and I'm going to give you guys my top 10 favorite films of the year, and also a couple awards too, for lead actor, lead actress, director, screenplay, all that kind of stuff. So first I'm going to do my top 10 favorite films of the year so far. Number 10 is Limitless. It was a very fun thriller, and it always contains a very constant pace, like you never feel like you're getting detached from it. It's always very fast in its approach. Bradley Cooper has one great performance in it, and Robert De Niro turns up with a good supporting role too. But director Neil Berger does all these visual tricks with you, and how it makes the screen very bright when he's on the drug. It's a very, very fun film, and it's definitely one of the coolest thrillers that I've seen in the past few years. Number 9 is one that's going to be higher on most people's list so far, but it's a little bit lower on mine, and that is Source Code. I really enjoyed the film. Duncan Jones has definitely shown that he's a great director along with this and Moon. However, the ending is detaching me from putting it any higher, because even though I really like how intriguing it was at the end, it was a little too much for me at the end, and that's why I placed it 9th instead of up in the top 5 with most of my other picks. Number 8 is Cedar Rapids, which is a comedy that premiered at Sundance Film Festival. It has a terrific cast in it, with Ed Helms, Isaiah Whitlock Jr., the hilarious John C. Reilly, along with Kurtwood Smith from That 70s Show and RoboCop, who we all knew as Clarence Boddicker, and also Anne Heck too. I really enjoyed this film. Like, it was very different than most comedies that I had seen so far during the year. Ed Helms was great in the role, but John C. Reilly had me laughing so much in it, and it was just very sweet. It mixed together the raunch and the sweetness very well, and I really, really enjoyed it. If you haven't seen it yet, definitely check it out. Number 7 on my list, Scream 4. Now, it goes so out there in the ending, but then again, as I told you in my review, I am so accustomed to seeing types of horror films that turn into this generation's rules that I just really enjoy it. Like, it's a very fun time. I laughed a lot. It's not all as scary as most of the other horror films that I've seen, but still, very enjoyable. It's got some really cool kills in it, and it was great to see the whole cast back again. It was a very fun time. Fast 5. Definitely the best of the Fast and the Furious movies. Great action sequences. The bank vault chase is an action sequence for the ages, and also one of the longest ones, but a great reteaming of all of these former cast members in it. Just, man, I really enjoyed this film. However, the reason why it's lower is because I have a couple other films that I enjoyed more than this one, but still, good times. Number 5, which is the only movie that I've seen off on demand on this top 10 list, is Hobo With A Shotgun. Rutger Hauer will never be this more of a badass than in this film. I mean, he was just commanded the screen in this film. Pure badass action, tons of bloody fights happening all over the place. It's so in the vein of a Grindhouse movie, like it's shot bright and everything, and it was just awesome. I had such a fun time with it, and make sure to check that out because it has a limited release starting this Friday when Thor releases. Number 4 is Hanna, and the reason why I love this movie so much is because it's just so much different than all the other action movies out there. Joe Wright brings the film a very surreal approach. The action sequences are done very well, especially this one-take one, which involves Eric Bana just kicking mindless ass against like 5 guys at once in it. Saoirse Ronan's performance is fantastic. Cate Blanchett does great as a slime ball of a villain. It was just all around very fun, and it was a very new experience because you'll never really see an art house action film quite like that one. Number 3, for a movie that releases in 2 weeks, is Bridesmaids. This is easily the funniest comedy I have seen this year. I laughed constantly throughout. Melissa McCarthy completely stole the show in it. She had me laughing every second of the film that she was in. Kristen Wiig is fantastic as usual, and it just shows that Judd Apatow can work with just more than the guys, of course, for his kind of genre. This film was so hilarious, however, is being so poorly marketed, making it look like such an average comedy. That is a lie. The film is so funny, you have to see it when it goes out. Instead of Priest, which I'll be killing myself when I watch it because I'll be reviewing that on the 13th, unfortunately. Alright, we're in the top 2 now. Number 2, Super. This dark comedy had such an edge going on. There was no limits. Writer-director James Gunn just did so much of what he could get away with. Rainn Wilson and Ellen Page were fantastic doing it, and I have never seen Ellen Page this crazy in a film, let alone, I probably won't see her as crazy in another film than she was in this. I mean, she was a blast from beginning to end when we first got met to her character. Such a fun time. The violence is so gleefully over the top, and Gunn satirizes it so well because he shows how most people there are in the world really react to those kinds of things. God, it's just such a fun time, and it's definitely not a film for everyone, but it's one of the most gleefully over the top, edgy, dark superhero comedies that I will ever see. Just such a fun time. And finally, my number 1 favorite movie of the year so far, which has been for almost 2 months now, is Rango. This is one of those animated films that is a once-in-a-lifetime treat because it's so much more different than most of their animated films out there, just like Super is with most superhero movies out there. Attention to detail is just amazing in this film. They truly captured the Western spirit in it. An amazing voice cast led by the miraculous Johnny Depp playing the voice of Rango. Even though the villain you can see coming in the film, it is just such an amazing film. It's a new breakthrough in animated films because it just has so much more of an edge than most of them do. That goes for something different. There's a lot more adult humor than any other animated films that I've seen. I love the film so much. And that is why it's my number 1 favorite movie of the year so far. Now, those are my top 10 favorites of the year so far. Now we're going to change things up to my mid-season awards before the summer movie season. Now, these picks are based off movies that I've seen already. I'm not saying them for I haven't seen them yet, but these are for movies that I've seen already this year. Best leading actor for me has to go to Rutger Hauer for Hobo With A Shotgun. A quiet presence, and then just building up to being one of the most badass old dudes I've seen in film. He just commands the screen so well. He has some great one-liners in it. He really stole the show and made Hobo With A Shotgun so much better than it would have been with another old guy at the helm of it. Best leading actress would have to go to Saoirse Ronan in Hanna because there are not many kinds of actresses that can pull off the kind of roles that she does, especially this one because she's got that very quiet presence in screen, but it's her facial expressions along with her acting that really show that she is a great actress for her young age. She's great on screen, she does some amazing stunt work in it, and she just really has a bright future ahead of her. Best supporting voice crack. Best supporting actor. Best supporting actor would have to go to John C. Reilly in Cedar Rapids because, as usual, he just shows how he is so fit for these types of comedies that he makes these days, and he had me laughing so much in the film for doing the crazy things that he always does in these kinds of films. Definitely one of his best comedic performances of his career. Best supporting actress is a no-win match for Ellen Page in Super because she just commanded the screen when she came along. She just has this crazy, insane enthusiasm in her character no matter what kind of violent acts she's commits in it, and just wow. I mean, I never thought I could see her in a role like this, but she entertained me throughout, and is definitely one of those few performances that you probably won't see from her again in her career. Best director is a bit of a surprise. I would have to award that to Neil Burger for Limitless because I never thought that he could really do this film based off his previous work, but once the film kicked off, he established a very smart, fast pace to it. He does so many types of visual tricks when Eddie's on the drug. He makes the screen very bright when he's on the drug and then very dark when he's not. He just does so many of these great tricks with the camera and the visuals that it's definitely one of the biggest breakthroughs I've seen from him. Now, I'm going to skip a Best Adapted Screenplay because I know there's really only one film that I can award that so far. That would be for The Lincoln Lawyer. But I haven't seen the film yet, so I'm going to skip that one for now. But that will be an award later in the year, of course, for me, though. Best Original Screenplay, though, I'd have to award to Phil Johnston for Cedar Rapids. The screenplay for that film was featured on the Blacklist back in 2009 for Hollywood's Best Unproduced Screenplays, and he just does such a great job at mixing together the sweet comedy along with the typical R-rated raunch, and he finds a very great balance in between of it. and it just makes me enjoy the film so much more. Like, the cast adds on to it, but his script already, to balance those kinds of comedy together, he did such a great job of it, and I'm definitely looking forward to what kind of movies he has in the future that he's written. And finally, best voice in animated film would have to go to Johnny Depp and Rango. Like, his kind of weird approach to his films, like, his films are very weird, of course, but that just makes Rango have such more of an edge to it. He establishes a great character, and the fact that he acted out a lot of his parts before stepping into the voice recording studio just makes the character so much more interesting than it already was. I mean, I just gotta highly commend Johnny Depp for doing that, because he's just one of the best actors that's working in today, and the fact that he can do that for an animated film by acting it out before he does the voice, that just really shows how great of an actor he is. So I hope all of you guys enjoyed my take on the pre-summer movie season recap featuring my 10 favorites of the year so far and early season awards so far. Of course it's incomplete right now, but then again, we still have 7 months to go. So we got a long way ahead of us for that. So here's what I want you guys to do. If you like this video, subscribe to my channel where you can check out more of my videos, and also give me a thumbs up as usual. But I want you guys to comment below on your kind of awards for this year. Like, what are your favorite movies of the year so far, and what awards would you hand out in certain categories? Also, follow me on Twitter, like my page on Facebook, and stay tuned until Friday. That will be my next video, because of course I got testing this week. So I'm Tyler from Critic Reviews, and I'll see all you guys later. Make sure to comment below on what you think of this year in movies so far.